Hello, dear friends. You're all welcome. I am Teresa. You're all welcome to this place where we will sing and pray with the psalm. We will continue to sing and pray with the psalms. So today we'll be praying with the psalm of the fourth Sunday in ordinary time, year B. And the psalm is Psalms 95. Psalm 95. The response to the psalm is, if today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. You know, the Lord speaks to us every day in his words. If you are the one who meditate the words of God every day, or you pray every day, he speaks to us. Even if you say you don't pray every day, remember God speaks to us all the time in our conscience. If you are doing right and avoiding evil, no, you have been given that grace. You have been inspired by the Lord. So, the psalm of today, the response to our psalm of today is encouraging us. If today you hear the voice of the Lord, harden not your hearts. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. What should we do? We should come bow before him in worship. It's a psalm that calls us not to harden our hearts, but to give worship to the Lord, to worship our God. As in one of the verses we hear, come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord who made us. For he is our God, and we are the people he shepherds, the flock he guides. A wonderful psalm, a wonderful invitation to worship. If we hear the voice of the Lord and we soften our hearts, we will be able to fall before him in worship, to go before him in worship. That is to show that we have softened our hearts and we are taking him for our Lord and our God. And we are acknowledging that he is our Lord and our God. So we have to worship him. We have to bow before him. We have to kneel before him. That is to show him that we have heard his voice and our hearts are not hardened. We are coming. Or even if your heart is hardened, go before him. And he will melt that heart of stones. He will wash us and we will be clean. He will purify us. He will cleanse us. That is a promise the Bible gives us. So if you feel that you are still hard-hearted, go. He will soften that heart. He will break our heart of stones and give us a heart of flesh. And we will not leave his presence the same. So when we go into his presence, we will come out blessed. So let us do what this psalm is telling us today, that when we hear the voice of our Lord, when we hear his call, when we hear him inviting us to pray, to be good, we should do that. We should take it. We should do just that. To show that we are doing that by worshiping him, going before him all the time, visiting his presence, following him by listening to the sermons in the church, going to church, listening to talks over the radio in our groups. That is the way we show we worship the Lord, living our day-to-day lives as children of God. So, dear friends, let us sing this psalm, claiming these words. Being ready not to harden our hearts, but to leave our hearts open to be filled by the grace of the Lord. Let us sing.
If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Come, let us sing joyfully to the Lord. Let us acclaim the rock of our salvation. Let into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us joyfully sing psalms to him. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Come, let us bow down in worship. Let us kneel before the Lord who made us. For he is our God, and we are the people he shepherd, the flock he guides. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Oh, that today you would hear his voice. Harden not your hearts as at Meribah, as in the day of Massah in the desert, where your fathers tempted me. They tested me, though they had seen my works. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. If today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts.
Oh, yes, dear friends, if today you hear his voice, harden not your hearts. Open your hearts to him, fall down before him in worship, to acknowledge that he is your Lord and your God, and your heart is not hardened. And even if your heart is hardened, let him break the heart of stone. Let him break the heart of stone and give you the heart of flesh if you are open, and you will be soft in heart. You will be humble in heart. So dear friends, if you have not yet subscribed, subscribe and share with friends so that we keep journeying together, singing the upcoming psalms. Our next psalm will be that of the fifth Sunday in ordinary time, year B. So subscribe and see you then.